Hello there YouTube, this is Mikhail or Michael speaking, and today I will touch on some map changes with you, and I hope you will enjoy it just as I am. Let's look at the map changes north of Bakhmut. We can see that Russians had achieved some gains at Yehidne. There are reports that Russians had captured this whole village and are advancing towards outskirts of Bakhmut. You can see that this map had not depicted it yet, but overall I think that's true. Also, there are reports that Russians are very close towards Duvovo-Vasilievka and are about to capture the whole hill. Once again, this map doesn't show it, but as you can see by the gray area, this means that this is contested territory or that Russians had claimed that they controlled this territory. If we go to a topography map, we can see that this is a high ground right here, a hill, which Ukrainians are using for its major defensive position on this front. And Russians are getting close and close to it, and soon we will see an actual battle. Russians need to kick out Ukrainians of these positions, as they cannot advance any further without doing it. But I believe Russians will succeed, as Russians had experience storming high grounds and hills, and I even had reports that Russians are concentrating big amount of heavily armored battle effective troops, up to 1 tank battalion, and I believe Russians are preparing for a major punch towards general direction of this hill. Like I said, Russians had completely stopped attacking on this front altogether. There are much more interesting things going on north of Bakhmut, but they are still continuing their attack south of Bakhmut and to the east of it. There are no changes on the map, but there are reports of Russian heavy fighting, and overall I think Ukrainians are starting to get nervous. At some point I thought why Russians have trouble advancing towards Chasiv Yar and Ivanovsky, and as you can see that the path towards Chasiv Yar, it's very hilly and is covered by forest lines. And as you can see by the map 2 weeks ago, Russians had successfully captured some of the hills, 2 of the 3. But again, this exposed their flank way too much, and Russians had to retreat. Overall, the reason why Russia had not seen much success on this front is pretty obvious. Hey, if you like my content so far, would you kindly consider liking, subscribing or commenting, as it is good for algorithms and will make my day so much happier and brighter. East of Bakhmut there lies city of Avdiivka. For some time now Russia has tried to envelop Avdiivka from the north, attacking towards general vicinity of Krasnokharivka and Vesely, and from the south, attacking from Aputne and other villages. Overall, I see Bakhmut scenario at Avdiivka as well. However, I believe it would be successful, as on this front there are mostly volunteer groups of Russians. They are highly motivated, and right here there are some elite Russian troops attacking, so I believe Russians will envelop Avdiivka fairly quick. But we'll just have to see that. There's still battle going on in Mariinka, but you can see that nothing had changed. Again, Ukrainians are fighting hard, and Russians will have hard time beating them out of settlements. Ukrainians had at this point learned how to defend well when it comes to urban warfare, and I believe once again that the best thing Russians can do is threat the encirclement of any village really, or a settlement, thus forcing Ukrainians to leave altogether. No changes at Vuhledar front, no changes on the map says that Russians were able to completely stabilize their fronts, and that Ukrainian counterattack had completely stopped and is unable to use its initial success. Again, there are reports that because of the change of command, Russians are regrouping their troops, and I believe they will go around Vuhledar, as storming it for some months now had not bring anything but great loss of human life. Once again, no changes on Russian offensive towards Orikhiv. I think this is again a probing attack to check where Ukrainian defense is weaker. This could be a direction of Russian offensive. There are reports of heavy fighting in Radziivka and Vesely. Russians are attacking towards those settlements, overall without any success. Overall without any major success, but as we can see that throughout this last month, Russia had been slowly but surely advancing, and I believe that in a month Russia will be able to attack those villages and get very close to Seversk itself. I think they might even start an offensive from this axis as well. This will put much pressure to Ukrainian front lines and force them to spread their troops thin. There are no map changes in Liman front. However, Russians are attacking in this forested area towards Zarichne and around it towards Yampil. Also, they attack in this direction to reach this river line. And overall, their offensive is an attempt to move the front line further and again probably envelop Bakhumt. There are no changes at Kupiansk, as Russians are still fighting, but I believe Russians need to launch their attack from Liman Pershi. For now, they are attacking in this direction. Probably they're going to extend their front line to the river right here. So this is the end of the video. It's fairly short as there are not much major changes happening on the battlefield like it had 2 days ago or 3 days ago. That is it, I guess. Thank you all for having time to watch my video. I hope you like it. Until we meet again. And always remember, Russia will be free.